license to carry M99, tranquilizers.
Well, then what do you do with it, right?
Once it was in the cage, it was pretty pissed off. There wasn't much I could do about it.
And then what do you do with it? I mean, unless you take it hundreds of miles away and release it, you're not doing any good.
Right, because it's going to come right back. So yeah, we went through all that, and one guy I actually, and I'm going to say this out front, I would rather shoot him than anything else, because that's more, and I'm going to say it's more humane, because I know a guy that stuck the bear style traps out, and I went out there with my sidearm. I know you're not supposed to shoot him with a sidearm, but I was on his property, shooting targets. It was target shooting day, and I kept hearing this loud, crazy yelling. I'm like, what in the heck is that? And I just started walking, and once I popped through the clearing, about 50 feet in front of me was one really angry coyote with half a foot. And I, immediately at that point, I felt bad for it, and I immediately put it down.
Well, if it had chewed its foot off and got away, it would have been prey for another predator.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, don't ever use those again. I can't, don't do that.
Yeah. All right, well, that music is signaling that it's a break time. We are going to take about a 6-minute break. We will be back. This is Liberty2Go Freedom Radio.
Another day, just like any other. Out of the blue, it turned to horror. How could they? Why would they? The innocent suffered hell's inferno. A senseless act that goes unforgotten. How could they? They will pay when the ego cries. 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 Out of the ashes came a tempting vengeance, but we are focused, we seek redemption. We are free, we'll stay free. All they've done is make us stronger. The sleeping giant is asleep no longer. If need be, we'll die free. When the ego cries. When the ego cries. When the ego cries. When the ego cries. When the ego when the ego cries. When the ego cries. They fought and made us stronger. When the ego cries, we will sacrifice. When the ego cries for freedom's stuff, a sticky sweet romance. She makes you wanna scream, wishing she was giving you a chance. So you fantasize away while you're squeezing her. You thought you heard her saying, good girls don't, good girls don't. I should be telling you, good girls don't, but I do. So you call her on the phone to talk about the teachers that you hate. And she says she's all alone, and her parents won't be coming home till late. There's a ringing in your brain, 'cause you could have swore you thought you heard her saying, good girls don't, good girls don't. I should be telling you, good girls don't, but I do. And it's a teenage sadness everyone has got to taste. And in between age madness that you know you can't erase, when she puts you in your place. You're alone with her at last, and you're waiting till you think the time is right. 'Cause you've heard she's pretty fast, and you're hoping that she'll give you some tonight. So you start to make your play, 'cause you could have swore you thought you heard her saying, good girls don't, good girls don't. I should be telling you, good girls don't, but I do. And it's a teenage sadness everyone.
All right, and we are back. Don King, your loyal host, along with my co-host Brandon. How you doing, Brandon?
Doing all right. I'm here. I had it on mute.
Well, that happens to the best of us. It sure does. All right, I do have one other sad thing to report today. Roscoe P. Coltrane. James Best from the Dukes of Hazzard. He died today. He's 88 years old. I mean, he was an accomplished actor. But, of course, his most beloved role was that of Roscoe P. Coltrane. Kind of Boss Hogg's supposed to be Muscle Man, but it kind of is dunce. But I mean, he played that role. He said that it was just a fun role to play, and he was big in westerns in the 50s and in the 60s. He acted in over 80 movies and 600 television shows. Says he appeared on everything from Alfred Hitchcock Presents to The Andy Griffith Show to Flipper. He worked with Humphrey Bogart in The Caine Mutiny and Jimmy Stewart in Shenandoah. So, I mean, he was an accomplished actor. And Dukes of Hazzard was just something that he did it was fun. He didn't expect it to last. Ended up being what he was remembered for the most, I think.
Yeah, he's gonna be a missed man. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's it was a good,
I didn't.
He made the show fun because you always like to see the Dukes get the best of him, and they always did every episode. So
I knew he was getting up there in age. I didn't realize he was actually that far up there.
yeah, 88. That's quite a ways up there. And knock on wood, I'll make it that far. So
That'll be one of us.
well, hey, you know, if I'm there. If I'm still on the radio, you're still going to be my co-host, and we're still going to be, you're still going to be needing about my kind of music I like. So,
Yeah, I'll probably be ruining that, and definitely I'll have to be going after you for your thing with liking Ford products. And
I can't, you know, I understand. Okay, what it is I've come to understand that you can't help it, that it's just something that's a defect. But I overlook it because we're such good friends. I mean, you're my brother from another mother, and so I overlook the fact that you can't appreciate the finer things in life. So,
Hey, do you want to take a guess on something real quick for me though?
Sure.
Do you want to guess which engine powers the world's fastest Mustang?
Oh, probably a Chevy engine since you're asking me.
Chevy LSX, baby,
Yeah.
all the way LS engines. Yay!
You know, I was always a purist. I never liked seeing a hot rod like an old Ford with a Chevy engine in it, or an old Chevy with a Ford engine in it, or a Mopar or something like that. I always was a purist. I always thought,
Eh, for me, it depends on the year though. Like a friend of mine posted a picture of a 60 or a 70 Mach 1 earlier. And I'm like, I told him, I said, only if it has an LS swap. And I put, just kidding. If it was that car, it would have to be numbers matching. I would want, that to be,
Right.
pure Mustang, pure Ford.
Right.
Now, like with these Fox bodies and stuff like that, they're literally, and I'm not going to lie, they're basically taking, the better of the two, the better of the both, of both worlds. They're taking the tried and true and very easily horsepower made LS engine and sticking it into a body that will hook.
You're talking about the
You know.
third generation Mustangs, the ones that
Yeah,
came
the
along
Fox.
after the ill-fated Mustang 2s.
Oh God, what were they thinking?
I don't know. It was
That
the oil embargo. I mean,
it looked like a Datsun.
it did. It's weird. And you know what I remember too? Speaking of it looked like a Datsun, the original Vega looked like a miniature Camaro if you looked at the grill.
Yep, I actually had a Vega.
The original one. Now later on they could put that kind of V nose on the front of them and they look different. But
I shouldn't. In hindsight, there's a lot of vehicles I shouldn't have got rid of, but that was one of them because all I had to do, I had the engine sitting there. I could have stuck a 400, actually, it'd been a 405 down in it, and it would have been one screaming little monster. And I turned around and I sold it for. I bought it for $190. I sold it for like I think it was like $1,000.
wow, can't beat
And
that.
and then I sold the engine for 500.
Usually cars aren't a very good investment. So, but
I don't know.
you remember-
I just go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, you remember the Dodge or not Dodge, the Mazda Miatas?
Yes, the one that come with a matching purse.
Yeah, the little bitty two-seated convertible. There was a company out in California that was taking 428 Cobra Jet motors and putting down in them. And I was like, that's like putting I don't know, say a Harley engine on a skateboard.
Hey, hey, there's a guy here that I know. They just finished his car. Actually, the conversion. It's actually it's not the new one. It's the original Mini Cooper
Uh-huh.
with a turbocharged Hayabusa crotch rocket engine in the back.
Wow.
That thing is ridiculous. It will not stay on the street. It's all over the
Well,
road.
the Mini Cooper's not a whole lot heavier than some motorcycles. So, I mean, let's be fair. Not a whole lot of car there.
Think about the project that we did in high school in auto mechanics. We took a two-wheel drive 86 Blazer.
Uh-huh.
We dropped it basically around its frame. It had no clearance, and we took a power glide, 3-speed power glide,
Uh-huh.
2-speed power glide. Sorry, I'm 3-speed. I'm thinking it's around a tree from a 70 C10. I was working on one earlier, and it had actually an engine out of a dirt track car in it. A buddy of ours had donated the engine, and we stuck it in this thing, and it even the shop teacher, old Bardwell, was having a blast in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you drop something that low, though, I've ridden in vehicles that are dropped that low. The ride is horrible.
You haven't ridden in mine.
You feel everything, don't you?
No, you haven't ridden in mine. My shocks and strut. I got shocks and struts on my car. I have adjustables. The only reason why you feel any bounce or any or real stiffness in that car is because I have my springs are very, very heavy.
I rode in one. Somebody had a little. It was either a Chevy S10 or